20 Shopify and TikTok ads hacks that will double your profits in the next year. Let's go. By changing any variable with your product, your ads, your website, the way that you make your ads, you can completely change the results of whatever you're testing. This goes for absolutely every aspect of dropshipping when it comes from, your ads, like testing a different video, changing the color of the buttons on your website. Like every little detail makes a big impact, and things could perform better, the same, or even worse. So every time you're about to change something on your website or change something with your strategy, keep in mind that you're risking either losing what you have or making it better. Number 2, sticking to a proven method is way cheaper and more effective than trying to create your own method. Now, the method that you create will ultimately be worth it, but if you're a beginner, it might just be better to just stick to something that someone like me has already proven out to work. Number 3, an extension on the last one. If you do choose to go ahead and follow a proven method, actually follow it. I see a lot of people out there that send me DMs or message me like, hey, I'm following your strategy. What do I do next? And then I actually look at their website and I look at the way that they made their test campaigns and the way that they're trying to scale, and everything is completely different than my method. Trust me, I've already tested all the different variables to develop my strategy. If you want to follow my strategy, the chances of you making it better by doing CBO instead of ABO, or by doing, a certain web design strategy as opposed to mine, you're probably not going to be able to, because I've already tested it and I've already accounted that into my method. And I am constantly testing new things and retesting old things to make sure that my method is as optimized as possible. So to extend on that, if you're going to follow a proven method, then actually follow it. If you're going to create a method, then create a method. Do not hover in between these two. Number 4, the product testing failure versus success feedback loop is all you need to succeed in dropshipping. Dropshipping is literally 90% product selection. And when you find a product and you think that it's good to test, and then you actually go out and test it and see how it performs, you can then judge the accuracy of your judgments when you're selecting products based on the metrics. Did it make sales? Did it get added to carts? Certain products that you test that you may have had one opinion on might perform completely differently, and that teaches you something new. And this is the feedback loop that truly allows you to learn and actually get good at selecting products. And once you're good at selecting products, dropshipping becomes very easy, and just a matter of finding good products and then consistently testing them until you get one that hits. Number 5, if you want to find the best products to be testing with dropshipping right now, then you have to see a ton of products and filter through to find the good ones. And one of the best ways to do this is actually by hiring a VA to do product research for you for about $5 an hour, and have them just do major loads of product research and then bring you a Google Sheet just filled with products at the end of each week. This will accelerate your growth, accelerate your ability to actually find good products, and increase your chances in stumbling upon that big banger, because they are pretty hard to find, and getting someone to organize a nice list for you at the end of the week is fairly inexpensive and 100% worth the time. Number 6, after you make a single test campaign in a specific ad account, whenever you make a new test campaign from that point on, literally just duplicate off of the last one, just copy one of the ad groups into a new campaign. That way you don't have to go through the whole process of making an entirely brand new campaign every single time. This will save you tons of time when you're testing products. If you're doing 2 a week, 3 a week, 4 a week, whatever, save you tons of time and allow you to focus on the things that really matter, like actually making sure that you're testing good products in the first place. Once you find a winner and you start scaling and looking for new variables to test, you can actually view the data on your campaigns and break it down by country, age, gender. There's many other things that you can break it down by, so that you can further target your new ads and test new variables. Like, for example, if all of your sales are coming from females, then you can make a new campaign and only target females. You can do this with countries, you can do this with age groups. There's many different categories that you can break down on TikTok ads. Here's how you set up your TikTok ads columns to make sure that you're focused on profits. And I'm going to say all of them looking you dead in the eyes so that you can see how many times I've said this and how embedded into my mind and important this is. I'm going to go from column 1, column 2, column 3. Total cost, impressions, clicks, add to carts, checkouts initiated, total complete payments, cost per complete payments, complete payment value, that's total value, and then complete payment ROAS. Those are the only columns that you need to really focus on what truly matters. Well, Noah, what about vanity metrics? If you want to see CPM, CPC, CTR, or anything else, feel free to add them in wherever. I like to keep my columns very simple, and it's not too difficult for me to tell what the CPM is or the CPC is just by looking at total cost, impressions, and clicks. I can just do the math in my head real quick, but if you want to see them, then go for it. Very, very important that you set up your columns correctly for efficiency and making sure that you're focused on the right thing in your ad account. Number 9, if you want to make sure that your website is high converting and your ads are good and the product that you're running is good, your product description is good, always remember this one simple fundamental. Simple is better. This is true more than ever in dropshipping right now because there's tons of fancy themes, fancy little things that you can do on your website, crazy product description templates and stuff like that. You don't have to go all out, and usually the simpler the better. The easier it is for someone to digest your ads and digest your website and go through and actually purchase, the more people actually will. Tip number 10, and this one can probably double your profits right now. If people are naturally buying more than one of your product, like let's just say that you test a product, you start making some sales, and let's say like 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 people start buying 2 or 3 or whatever the number is. Add quantity breaks. If you add quantity breaks to a product where people naturally buy more than one, it can instantly double your profits and increase your AOV by 30% or more. I've used this many, many times to turn a losing product on TikTok into a profitable winner, and you can too. And the reason I say only do this if people naturally buy from your website is because quantity breaks is not magically going to make people, want multiple of your product. But if you have the kind of product that people want multiple of naturally, then quantity breaks can definitely incentivize a higher percentage of people to actually go ahead and buy more than one. Tip number 11, free shipping usually yields a higher ROI than charging for shipping. This is accounting for 2 things. Basically, number 1, the drop off in conversions that you will get by charging for shipping, aka people going to your website, seeing the price, and then going to checkout, seeing that you're charging $5 for shipping, and then bouncing, versus the amount of extra revenue that you're going to bring in by charging for shipping. Now, obviously, this varies per product, the way that you set up your store. Like, there's a lot of different factors here, but 99% of the time that I've actually split tested this, usually you will get a higher ROI based on an increase of conversion rate by doing free shipping as opposed to charging for shipping. If you don't believe me, test it for yourself, but I've already done my testing and I have my answer. Number 12, offer a 5% off discount code to anybody who abandons their checkout 5 to 10 minutes after they abandon their checkout. After 1 hour, offer them a 10% off discount. After 6 hours, offer them a 15% discount. And after 12 hours of them abandoning their checkout, offer them a 20% discount. Only note that I would have on this is only do this if you are dropshipping, as this is a super aggressive email marketing, abandoned cart setup, but it converts incredibly well. You'll pick up a ton of sales at the 5 to 10 minute point, but you'll be surprised at the amount of sales that you're actually able to pick up at the 1 hour, 6 hour, and 12 hour mark as the discount code gets more progressive. Number 13, adding a chat box to your website and actually physically manning the chat box and communicating with those customers. This is for you guys out there that have a lot of time, or if you're on your phone all day, or if you're on a computer all day, will increase your conversions anywhere from 10 to 20%. Number 1, you must have super fast response times because people are going to be on your website, send you a message, and they're going to expect a response like that, or they're just going to bounce from your website. You can add a little message that said, response usually takes a minute, so that you have a minute to actually go in and respond to them. Another tip, make sure that if you're communicating with your customers, tell them, hey, thank you for reaching out. I want to show appreciation that you reached out and made sure that this was a right purchase for you. So I want to reward you with a 10% off discount code. So you're going to put a chat box on your website. You could do this with WhatsApp. There's a few different apps out there that allow you to actually live talk to your customers through your website. You can't see their information or anything like that, but you can still communicate with them and let them know that it's a real person behind it and offer them a discount code. This will make you more money. Number 14, when scaling with TikTok ads, just because you tested a variable last week or last month does not mean that that variable doesn't work, and it doesn't mean that it won't end up working again. I recommend highly to consistently test new variables and consistently retest new variables. Like, let's say if you're scaling a product and you do a cost cap campaign and it sucks in the first couple weeks of scaling, a month later, cost caps could start really slapping and take you to the next level. I talked about this way more in depth in my Q4 Spark series. I would highly recommend going and checking out that playlist if you haven't yet. Number 15, once you get a shipping agent in China or anywhere really in the world, the first thing that you should do is make a secret shopper order on your website, which is essentially a fake sale. You're going to be your own customer. Use a fake name. Make sure that that shipping agent does not know that it's you, the owner of the store, that's getting that product, and see what their actual shipping times are. I've seen a lot of different situations where suppliers will tell you that they have, 10-day shipping or 14-day shipping, and then obviously you want to test it out, so you tell them like, hey, can you ship me an item? And believe it or not, I've seen agents out there actually ship the owner of a store a certain item, and it has great shipping time, but then they're using a different carrier for the actual customers that are coming into the store to save a little bit of money. So do the secret shopper thing, especially if you're making bold claims about shipping on your website. You need to verify that your agent is actually doing their job. Number 16, high quality but low quantity reviews will beat high quantity but low quality reviews every single time. But if you can have both quality and quantity, obviously that is your best option. Number 17, he who tests 2 products per week forever will always be the guy that tests 10 products per week for 2 months and then quits. Number 18, do not do this alone. Find an internet buddy or an in real life buddy that can actually figure this out with you. 2 will learn quicker than 1, and the chances of you figuring it out quicker go way up because one of you could see success faster and then lift the other up. And I've seen this happen many times. I actually had a buddy when I was figuring this out. I always usually recommend one of my students to find a buddy to work with, share strategies with. It's also really smart if you 2 guys can follow different methods and then give feedback on like what happened and how it's performing. Just helps you learn a lot quicker. And honestly, having that support there and that accountability is a great thing for any beginner when they're getting into the space. Number 19, I have made a lot of money with dropshipping. I have also met and coached a lot of people that have also made a lot of money with dropshipping. And I can tell you from my experience that there's a 99% chance that you are overcomplicating things. You don't need to have any special skill. We don't know something that you don't. Pretty much all you need to do is just keep things simple, take a breath, use common sense, follow a proven strategy, and stay consistent. There's a lot of different fancy things, and you may look at these guys that are doing 10K a day, 20K a day, 100K a day, and think that they have something that you're missing. And mainly what they have is just experience. They've been doing it longer. They stayed more consistent with it. They learned, they took the time to actually figure things out and learn from their experiences, courses, mentorships, whatever. They actually are steps ahead of you, which is perfectly fine. It does not mean that they have something that you're missing. You're just in an earlier stage and you need to keep pushing forward. Number 20, you will lose a lot of money trying to figure this out. And even if you are like one of these guys that ends up making a bunch of money really early on, you will lose a lot of money opportunity cost just by not knowing what you're doing. So either way, you're going to lose a lot of money trying to figure this out. My number 1 advice is to hire a mentor. Whatever money you invest into a mentorship will likely be either saved or made back through the things that you learned. And honestly, a lot of the money will be saved just by stopping you from making stupid mistakes. And if you end up making money very early on, you will probably end up making a lot more money with that mentor on your side, probably a lot more than you end up paying that mentor. And I've seen this many times. Lots of people will come to me like, oh, I've spent like $8,000 trying to figure this out. And it turns out that, they were making this one mistake, like spending too much money per product test that I could have avoided with one piece of advice. Just literally looked at them and been like, hey, don't do that. And I would have saved them $5,000 off of their product testing off the top. So whatever money that you're planning on spending and losing in dropshipping, or whatever money you're making, you can either lose less or make more by hiring a mentor. With that being said, I do have spots available in my mentorship. There is a link in the description if you want to learn more about that. These are just 20 lessons that I've learned through the hundreds of people I've coached and through generating over $25 million $1 with drop shipping. Obviously, there are a ton more lessons like this. So if you want more lessons like this in this quick style where I'm just shooting them out you and you can just take notes and just be overwhelmed with all this sexy value, then definitely sub to me, leave it in the comments, and I'll make more videos like this. This is Noah Brewer, and I'm out. Peace.